The topic is of course quality of life mods, those kinds of mods that you can't live without. Couple of things before we begin. Number 1, this video is for both new players and returning ones. And number 2, this list wouldn't be possible without the support of the fans who helped us research this. Seriously, you guys are awesome and I am unworthy of your praise and support. Now let's get into the video. First on our list is a useful mod for all players. Replace stuff. Right there on the tin. It's a mod that lets you build and replace what you already built. Definitely useful, especially when you want to replace defensive walls without risking leaving holes open for enemies. The Allow tool is another top essential mod, giving the player the ability to do more commands. Seriously, this is so useful for speeding up gameplay or just letting you do what you need to do fast, like strip mining. Trader Helper is one of those mods you'd be surprised how useful it can be. That wishlist feature alone will be invaluable, more so if you have pawns that have addictions or with biotech the chemical need of a certain substance. Another great mod to enhance an important part of Rimworld. So, ever have a pawn suddenly die because you looked away to check something out, only to find out it was because of some wild animal? Well, with Predator Hunt Alert, now you get an alert of animals hunting your pawns. I always use this, especially in more dangerous regions or regions with less animals to be hunted. Get this and you will be grateful for the heads up and not have to lose someone to Cujo or something. Blights are a big problem on the Rim, especially if you focus on getting your money through plants like psychoids and hop. And while the game does have an option for you to select a blighted plant and order a cut, there is a slight problem. Blight has a habit of spreading fast, so while the auto-cut blight mod, you never have to worry about missing a blighted plant, and it's spreading, simple to use and simple to ignore when it happens. Wonderful. Night owls can be great for the colony, but sometimes when you get one, you forget to set their schedule. Then you got a pawn who's about to snap under the pressure. Automatic Night Owl fixes that with having any pawns with the Night Owl trait be given a proper schedule. Straightforward, it's a good quality of life for a reason. Now, one of the bigger bottlenecks a Rimworld player will get is smelting and stone cutting. Trust me when I say when you need it, you never have enough, and the time to get through it all is a problem. But with mods like bulk smithing to allow you to smelt 3 slag chunks for a little less time than 1 at a time, along with stone cutting extended for stonework, now your pawns can actually get through their quotas. Oh, and by the way, stone cutting extended also comes with the ability to get crafting experience from stonework, though this all can be adjusted through the mod options. So another simple mod that I was glad to discover is the Begone Messages mod. While the alerts on the side of the screen aren't a problem, the ones on top can be a bit annoying. Being able to just click them away so it doesn't interfere with pawn pictures is extremely useful, especially in more dire situations. Trust me, on higher difficulties you really don't want some message about rotting food getting in your way. Now, one of the best ways to get good items is questing, though waiting for quests suck. Now with Ring Quest Continued, you don't have to wait. For a small fee, you can talk to traders and sometimes visitors for quest info. It's random and you can pick what you want to try doing. I think it's a great way to go about it without breaking the game, hence it being a quality of life, and I know my writer always uses this mod in his games. Another important issue that you might not realize can cause problems is filth. I don't mean in the, oh, my pawn doesn't like it. I mean in the, my PC doesn't like it. Sometimes you can get slowdown from too much filth on the map, be it from death things, rubble, dirt, and many other filth items. It all adds up. With filth vanishes with rain and time, it does what you think speeds up the time it takes to filth and naturally vanish in rain cleaning up the filth. Though the main game does do all this with some stuff like blood and foam, this mod does it for all items that count as filth, making it a must-have, especially for lower end PCs. You do help out for keeping things running smoothly, sometimes you need a little more. Runtime GC has plenty of options to clear up some memory, like clearing out dead pawns who you don't need to know about, removing a bunch of corpses on the map if you are in the endgame, or heck, just reclaiming more memory. When you have this, you will be surprised how you played without it. So for these next two, they are kinda in the same vein. Manipulating where you do your trading, the trading spot mod sets up a spot for trade caravans to go too. Great, so you always know where they're going to be. Even greater if you know raiders are coming. The drop spot, meanwhile, just lets you decide where dropped items from quest or orbital traders will land. Perfect for those of us who like enclosed bases, simple and great, and both of them are nice to have in the game. Speaking of traders and raiders, not my fault, so if visitors show up at your base, you won't be penalized if they die. For reasons out of your control, that is, be it wild animals, wild raiders, and killer insectoids you've been needing to deal with. Obviously, this doesn't apply to a direct attack on them, but now you won't have to groan when idiots get killed on your property. Seriously, download this mod and you will breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, my writer was shocked he never played with this mod before. Designator shapes now let you make more creative looking buildings, no more standard boxes, now we can live like bees in hexagons. I love it, now we can have more creative base designs, and it works for mining and planting too. Seriously, TAINTED put this in the base game, it feels like a base game feature that was oddly left out. This mod does give you some new things to play with. Doormats. This is a quality of life in our eyes due to it not eliminating filth, just focusing it on one place. And hey, it makes sense to have a place to wipe your feet. Leather or cloth, just make it and place it in high traffic areas and you won't have as much issue with filth all over your base. This next mod you have to get, Pick Up and Haul. In the base game, a pawn can only carry one item at a time, but with Pick Up and Haul, they finally use their entire inventory to carry their stuff. Yes, please, because nothing frustrates me more than inefficient hauling. You have pocket pawns, use them. Always download this, trust me. Know what's great? Dyed clothing, especially if you have a theme or flavored ideal legend color. No, it's not great? Micromanaging all that dyeing, especially if you keep getting new people. With self-dyeing, you can just turn it on and forget about it, letting the pawns automatically do that themselves. Put this in the pile of why wasn't this in the base game? We do seem to be getting a lot of those now, do we? One of the most annoying events in Rimworld is the short circuit event. At best, you lost a lot of power. At worst, you have a fire and 3 colonists now at risk of death. Well, in real life, we have circuit breakers to help mitigate the problems. And now, with our defuses, you can have something that fits in the universe. Sure, you lose the power, but you don't lose half your base to some fire that Randy decided to make. My writer never plays without this mod, and I don't either. Now, information is an important tool, especially in dire situations. RimHUD is one of those mods you can feel a bit naked without after using it, since it lets you see at a glance what a pawn's deal is. Be it hunger, some kind of life-threatening condition, mental instability, exact stat experience, this is all great info you might need when deciding how to do things in the game. Another mod for the always download pile. And speaking of mods in people's always download pile, the one and only Prepare Carefully. Arguably one of the best mods on the workshop, since it allows you to customize your starting colonists and item setup without too much of a hassle. Bren refuses to play Rimworld without it, and some people are with him. After all, being able to create the perfect team, or maybe characters fit for a role-playing series, is always great. This next mod changes the rules. Instead of pawns refusing to do certain work, they now get mood penalties for doing work they hate. Cause after all, sometimes you gotta do what you can in an emergency. I think it's a fair compromise for any playthrough, more so early on when you might not have a lot of good pawns to do what you need done. Just remember to take care of your pawn's mental state after forcing them to do stressful work. Did you know it's easier to hit the ground than someone standing on it? Well, with ground target, your pawns will take advantage of this fact. Normally, when you want to target something, it has to be a building or some kind of pawn, but with this mod, just hold left shift and then target. You will shift focus to the ground and fire on it. Great for firing lines or ambushing enemies, a surprisingly useful mod you wish you knew about before this video. Tainted renaming is great when you want to see what you have at a glance without having to go straight into an item's information. Simple but useful, what more can you want? While this isn't a mod for everyone, toggleable overlays can still be usable, especially for performance issues. All it does is hide overlay information until you mouse over it. Could be good for a YouTube series to hide info, or like I said before, low-end PCs that need every little bit of help. Great mod that does what it sets out to do. Another toggleable mod is the Toggle Harvest mod. Simple enough to use, just makes a little toggle on growing zones, like say you want to wait to harvest everything at once, or perhaps you are fine sowing but still don't want to harvest everything yet. There are reasons to use it, and having the option is always nice. If you want to do more planning, then more planning is the mod for you. Obviously, it adds more planning tiles, which, hey, for some people who like to go step by step on everything, this is a great. My writer, meanwhile, will just play by the seat of his pants. Dead animals are an interesting thing. If your own pawn hunts them, they are fair game. If a wild animal hunts them but doesn't eat the body, then it's forbidden. Allow dead animals makes it so dead animals are allowed. Yeah, I like it when a mod gets to the point, and this is a great mod so you don't have to constantly look around for any free food or potential crafting materials. Bionic Icons does what it says. Puts a little icon on Bionics, a nice little top on the money makers the Rim loves to harvest. Organics, Bionics, even modded organs. Yeah, sometimes a good quality of life is just a simple texture addition, plus it's nice to see at a glance what you have in stock. Know what I'm thinking of? Kenshi. Kenshi had a cool little mechanic where you could make groups of pawns, like some for exploring, some for combat, some for crafting. With colony groups, you get the option in Rimworld. Not everyone will find use for this, but when you get a lot of pawns in the endgame, sometimes it's nice to have a caste system of whatever role a pawn should be in. Everyone likes animals out on the Rim. They are good for hauling, companionship, and maybe dealing with door-to-door salesmen, but sometimes man's best friend gets hurt. Well, with a dog said, you now get prosthetics for animals. This is a quality of life because many people who play the game do get attached to their pets. Why not give them bionics like your pawns? With animal logic in tandem with this as well, your experience with animals may be a little better, like improving time between hauls, the ability to eat nutrient paste from the dispenser, or even special medical alerts tags for them. Check it out, a lot of customization options. I like labels on the floor, great for doing a video, and you need people to see at a glance what's going on. It's all automatic, which is disappointing. I wanted to set up subliminal messages. But hey, they don't get in the way, and it's a fun little thing to include in your game, just like a good quality of life. No, it's great? Clean bases. No, it's not as great. Pawns wasting time cleaning outdoor areas just because they are in the home area. Good thing we have a cleaning area to fix things up. Now you can set up cleaning areas for pawns to do actually everything. So just set it up for the inside areas and let the outdoor stay dirty, or clean if you got that previously mentioned rain clearing filth mod. Finally, we have the Do the F series of mods. 4 forked mods at the moment, but they work here on 1.4 as of writing. We have the Party Your F Off, allowing you to command a pawn to party and have a good time. Chill the F Out, which forces them to do a recreation thing so they don't mental break, hopefully, or maybe just a reward them for saving everyone's life in the medical wing. Do your effing research so you can finally tell them to actually focus on research deadlines after all. And of course, the Go to F to Sleep, cause hey, hearing Samuel L. Jackson read that book is hilarious, and sometimes you just want your pawns to get some bed rest before a big day. These 4 mods are great at giving you just a little bit of control in your colony. Here's hoping there is more in the effing series, if only there are those titles. Man, that was quite a lot of high quality of life mods, and the best part, I got help from our supportive fans. I mean it when we all say here on the team, thanks for sticking with us for so long and helping us make this video. And to those watching who know of any more good quality of life mods, share them in the comments, please. Hopefully some other people looking for good mods for their game will read them and we can support each other. Till next time, people, on to the next video.